the dim glow of a flickering neon sign that read New Beginnings Restaurant, a single father stood behind the counter, his callous hands trembling as he wiped down the same spot for the third time that morning. His 6-year-old son, Max, clutched his leg, his wide eyes filled with a mix of fear and hope. "Daddy, what if no one comes?" he whispered. Little did Ryan Coleman know that on this rainy Tuesday, the woman who had shattered his world years ago, the stunning, unyielding CEO who fired him without a second glance, would push open that creaky door and step back into his life. If you're watching this right now, feeling stuck in your own restart, stick around, because this story of heartbreak, redemption, and unexpected love might just be the spark you need. Before we continue, hit that like button if second chances move you, drop a comment letting us know you're here, and subscribe to Enlightened Story for more real-life inspired tales that remind us it's never too late to rebuild. Now let's dive in. Ryan Coleman had once been a man with a plan. At 32, he was a mid-level marketing coordinator at Whitfield Enterprises, a sleek tech firm that dominated the city skyline. He had a steady paycheck, a cozy apartment, and most importantly Max, the light of his life since his wife Emily had passed away from a sudden illness 2 years earlier. Mornings were for packing Max's lunch with silly notes. Evenings were for bedtime stories where dragons always lost to brave dads. But corporate life was a beast. Endless deadlines, soul-crushing meetings, and a boss who saw people as numbers on a spreadsheet. The day everything changed started like any other. Ryan had pitched a heartfelt campaign for a new wellness app, one that honored real struggles like grief and single parenting. Claire Whitfield, the company's founder and CEO, had walked into the boardroom like she owned the air itself. At 35, she was a vision, sharp tailored suits hugging her athletic frame, long auburn hair cascading like a waterfall, and piercing green eyes that could command a room or cut through excuses. She was brilliant, driven, and utterly detached. "Too emotional," she had said coldly after his presentation. "We need data, not sob stories." By the end of the day, Ryan was packing his desk. Efficiency over sentiment, her email had read. No severance beyond the legal minimum. Just like that, his world crumbled. Months blurred into a nightmare. Job rejections piled up. Savings dwindled. Max started having nightmares, asking why mommy wasn't coming back, and why daddy cried in the shower. Ryan took odd jobs, delivering groceries, driving for rideshares, but the weight of being both parents crushed him. One night, staring at eviction notices, he drove past the old Riverside restaurant on the edge of town. Abandoned for years, its faded paint and boarded windows called to him like a ghost from his childhood. His late father had taken him there for milkshakes after Little League games. "This place made me believe in fresh starts," his dad used to say. On a whim, fueled by desperation and a late-night conversation with Max, where he drew a picture of them owning a happy place, Ryan used every penny from his 401k and a small inheritance to buy the restaurant. It was a fixer-upper nightmare, leaky roofs, an outdated kitchen, decades of dust, but it was his. "We're starting over, buddy," he told Max as they stood in the empty space, his tiny hand in his. Max beamed, and for the first time in months, so did he. Renovations were hell. Ryan worked 18-hour days, learning plumbing from YouTube videos, painting walls, while Max helped with finger paints. The community noticed. Old Mr. Alvarez from down the street brought tools and stories. Young single mom Nina shared recipes for her famous pies. Slowly, the restaurant transformed. Cozy booths with checkered tablecloths, a jukebox playing classics, a kid's corner with books and crayons. Ryan named it Emily's Table, after his wife, with a mural of blooming flowers on the back wall, a symbol of growth after loss. Challenges hit hard. Opening day brought only a handful of customers. The ancient oven broke during the breakfast rush, forcing Ryan to improvise with a borrowed hot plate. Bills stacked up, and Max caught a cold that kept him home from school, testing his patience as he juggled cough syrup runs and menu planning. Doubts crept in at night. What kind of father gambles everything on a dream? He'd whisper to the empty dining room. But Max's laughter as he served imaginary customers kept him going. "Daddy, we're a team," he'd say, echoing words Emily used to tell him. Then came the day that flipped the script. 3 months in, business was picking up, locals craving comfort food and the warm atmosphere Ryan poured his soul into. The bell above the door jingled during the lunch rush. In walked Claire Whitfield. She looked different out of her power suits. Casual jeans, a simple blouse, hair loosely tied back, but those green eyes were unmistakable. She froze mid-step, scanning the room until her gaze locked on Ryan behind the counter, flipping burgers with practiced ease. "Ryan." Her voice was softer than he remembered, laced with surprise. "What is this?" He wiped his hands on his apron, heart pounding like a drum. Max peeked from the back, curious about the woman. "Claire, it's been a while." "Coffee?" She sat at the counter, ordering a simple BLT but barely touching it. Conversation started awkward, stilted. She explained she was in town scouting properties for a new Whitfield expansion. Ironic, considering she'd once deemed his ideas worthless. I saw the sign, Emily's table. I didn't know. Regret flickered in her eyes as Ryan shared fragments of his journey. The firing that broke him, Emily's death he never fully processed at work, Max's innocent faith that pulled him through. That first meeting lingered. Claire returned the next day, then the next. She claimed it was for market research, but her questions went deeper. She opened up too, about the pressure of running an empire started by her late father, the isolation of being the ice queen who couldn't afford vulnerability. I fired you because your pitch hit too close to home, she admitted one evening after closing. As Ryan locked up and Max drew at a booth. My mom passed when I was young. I buried it in work. Seeing your emotion, it scared me. Challenges deepened their connection. The restaurant faced a crisis when a big chain threatened to open nearby, undercutting prices. Ryan's old corporate instincts clashed with his new heartfelt approach, discounts versus community events. Max struggled with school bullying over their tight finances, coming home in tears. Claire, drawn in despite herself, helped quietly, connecting Ryan with suppliers, even funding a playground edition from her personal account. But tension rose. Ryan's pride bristled at charity from the woman who once discarded him. I don't need saving, he snapped during an argument in the kitchen, flour dusting their clothes. Not from you, Claire's eyes welled up. I'm not trying to save you, Ryan. You've already saved yourself. And Max, he's incredible. I see what I missed. Their walls cracked. Late nights turned into shared stories, laughter, tentative touches. She taught Max chess. Ryan showed her how to make Emily's secret pancake recipe. Romance bloomed slowly, emotionally raw, stolen moments amid the clatter of dishes, conversations about grief that healed old wounds. Bigger tests came. A storm flooded the restaurant, destroying weeks of progress. Insurance lagged. Suppliers bailed. Ryan nearly quit, sitting on the curb with Max in his lap as rain poured. Maybe this was stupid, he murmured. Claire appeared, sleeves rolled up, with a crew of volunteers from her company, people she'd inspired to care. Together, they rebuilt. Max's drawing of their family team became the new logo. In the resolution, the restaurant thrived. Word spread of its story, resilience served with every meal. The chain competitor folded under the power of genuine connection. Ryan proposed a community fundraiser that Claire championed, turning rivals into partners. Their love story wasn't fairy tale perfect. It was real, forged in fire. Claire stepped back from some CEO duties, finding balance. Ryan learned to trust again. Max gained a mother figure who honored Emily's memory. Years later, on the restaurant's anniversary, Ryan stood on a small stage with Claire by his side and Max, now taller and confident, holding a bouquet. Starting over isn't about erasing the past, he told the packed room. It's about carrying the love forward, turning pain into purpose. To everyone here fighting their own battles, keep going. Your table is waiting. The crowd cheered. Claire kissed him, her eyes shining. Max hugged them both. In that moment, the single dad who bought a broken restaurant didn't just restart, he built something unbreakable. What a journey, right? If Ryan's grit and this second chance touched you, smash that like button and subscribe to Enlightened Story for more heartfelt stories of triumph over tragedy. Drop a comment. What's your restart story? Share it, we read them all. Remember, no matter how dark it gets, new beginnings are just a brave step away. Thanks for watching. See you in the next one.